Hello there! This is General Infnobi, and today we'll be looking over at the Supreme Leader Kylo Ren event in regards to how to maximize the amount of tickets that you get so you can go over to this event and just perform as well as possible. By the way, congratulations on your SLKR because that's likely the reason why you're looking at this video. So hopefully I can be of assistance. When I went through this event, I didn't lose a single character, or sorry, character I did, you can see here, but I didn't lose a single attempt. So I did use the first order back in Arena, and nowadays I still use first order in Arena because of SLKR. But a long time ago when I started my account, I actually started going for the first order. A little bit of a gamble because I thought this guy was going to be the meta once I started the game, which was in around September 2019. However, he was too good. His requirements were too beastly for me to handle. However, I do have access to them now. That being said, let's go over with the teams that we use in regards to beat this. This is the team that got 10 out of 10 in both Tier 1 and actually Tier 2, which is going to foreshadow next episode. I guess, I don't know if I'll do just the difficult tiers or if we cover the whole thing. Maybe I can cover the whole thing. We shall go around that, but let's go against the modding of these characters. Crew, modded for health and defense, so 104,000 health, not a lot of speed, but a lot of defense too, so 74.2% armor with that amount of health is decent. So I'd recommend those health primaries. I even had a defense triangle there. With General Hux, we have him modded for speed. 324 is respectable, and we also gave him a tenacity cross. That one is actually intentional because sometimes you just go for whatever you have fastest, and that's good. But here the idea is mostly because of Arena and tenacity being somewhat relevant on Hux, so we can, if SLKR's ability blocked or something, can just dispel that. Which also applies here. If he's debuffed, or rather if he's not debuffed, he's not ability blocked by like JTR's Mind Trick, which usually will not have that issue because we run 2 tanks. Hux could still go in for the cleanse if that doesn't land. Kylo Ren is a huge member of this team as he contributes with a lot of TM generation, which allows for starter to get a little bit of on a turn meter train, and therefore we try to just grab as much protection out of the circle as possible, which is a protection circle. We do have the health set just because I have good health mods. I'd assume you guys have to. You can use an offset if you'd like, not really too important. 240 speed, not the hugest number. I think I did this with the speed set the first time around, but I'd also recommend the offense build strategy where he's almost hitting 9k here, and you'll be able to do that with your Relic 7 OG Kylo Ren. Sith Trooper will also be hitting quite hard, some chunk of health, not a lot of speed, but since he assists so often, 10,000 damage is amazing. That being said, we could go for a critical damage triangle. Maybe it's easier to have one of those instead of an offense triangle. However, I opted for an offense triangle because it just works better for Arena, given that a lot of the times he does not crit, and also he pretty much needs the advantage to crit. At 50% chance, you like living on 50/50s for that guy to crit with this kind of modding. So, but the crit damage is acceptable. He does get advantage a lot of the times, which offsets that critical chance. And Stormtrooper just wants to be a chunky boy. Doesn't really matter how much speed he has. He does want a lot of protection. He does want a lot of armor. This would also be an amazing way to mod him for the SLKR mirror match. Alright, so let's proceed into the battle. And as we load in, and these are our opponents. We have JTR reskin, just the same way we have SLKR, who is crew reskinned here. We do have crew and JTR and no Galactic Legend. Ray, they got Chewie, they got him. Good response. We've gotta go, they're coming. The response was the 3 dots. I probably had my head over, I just noticed now. However, how do we do this? There's a few levels of threats that we need to be careful with here. Hero Finn, if he gets inspired, he's an absolute threat because he will give 100% counter chance, 50% defense, and I believe 50% tenacity maybe as well. Definitely the other two first ones, and just that counter chance is incredibly annoying to be dealt with, so we don't want to have any issues with that. Once he starts getting inspired, he starts throwing that thing around to the rest of the team, and he can hit pretty hard. The inspiration does allow them to start doing max off damage, which doesn't matter on these two Kylos, which we do have in case that ever happens, but they just start hitting a lot harder. JTR is incredibly unpredictable in this event if you try to control her. So you say you try to do a 2-turn stun with crew over on her, yet it's one status effect. She does have a 40% chance to dispel that thing, and if you start going for more debuffs, you're getting really greedy to just not get them all cleansed. So Rey is very difficult to control, and my suggestion is to leave her to the last minute because RNG can play tricks on you in case you want to control her a little bit too early on. And that being said, I do think Hierophant and Hieropo are two larger threats that you can deal with without any RNG. Like, even Rey can get the best RNG at the end of the day, but if she only has BB-8 and 3PO alive, she's not going to cause as much harm. She needs to 3v5 a team that prevents TM gain because Hux having advantage is too OP. And last but not least, well, you do know 3PO scared, he's not going to attack you, but he's going to apply a lot of confusion, buff immunities with his first stack of confusion, which is bad on your tanks. But BB-8, he can be incredibly annoying, and every time this guy is not stunned, which is going to be most of the time, you will not be able to AoE. So say bye-bye to your OG Kylo AoE, and say bye-bye to your Sith Trooper AoE. At least at the start, you can use your other moves to try to kill Hierophant as fast as possible, which is exactly what we're going through. We're going to start with the mass assist over to Hierophant. Now, will we kill Hierophant at the first time? No, we will not. But we should try to do as much damage as possible. Here you do have the option to go for a cleanse and try to put advantage on, or just go for a basic. I'll just go for the basic. There's no need to really use that big cleanse, which can be helpful later on. There we go. We also DPS Hierophant just a little bit faster before JTR got to take her turn. And now this is one of those times where I tell you, oh, let's stun JTR. No, don't do that. So we have two options that are viable. We can stun Poe, or we can stun BB-8. I will stun Poe because he can be a damage dealer. He will not be throwing Inspire anymore because Hierophant has been dealt with, and BB-8 will just wiggle around. He won't gain turn meter because Hux has advantage, so he's not as problematic. He's really only problematic if you start attacking him, so we will be stunning Hieropo in this situation. And they can still go ham. As we can see, we do have those 3 stacks of confusion, and guess who saved the cleanse? Sith Trooper, and guess who has a TM swap that dispels all debuffs except this block heal immunity? Hux, yes, exactly. So right now we're vibing against this Hero Poe. Here you can actually AoE with Sith Trooper in this situation because of Foresight on BB-8, it won't hit him. But I'd actually prefer OG Kylo Ren to do that, so let's just cleanse crew here. We can even give a full turn and get the cleanse back on Sith Trooper, or we value the 2-turn stun a little bit more, which we probably do with crew. So we're going here, we're going to stun BB-8, and now we are actually free of charge to just go incredibly ham on the AoEs. But we just want to finish Hieropo as fast as possible, and that is the goal. There's the ability block on our crew, but nothing to be too worried about. This situation, have BB-8 stunned, let's try to put as much damage onto him as we possibly can. We can even go for the mass assist. If we feel like we can get rid of BB-8, like in this situation, just go for it. If they're stunned, they're not an issue to you, and they're not countering, so that's not too bad. See, that stun landed because it said red stun in there, yet she did cleanse it. She had speed down, yet she cleansed it. I find like she dispels a lot of the debuffs you land on her really often. Look at this, let's see. Stun. No 2-turn stun freeze. So I do find JTR incredibly difficult to control because of that chance that she has to dispel everything on her. So now we'll be finishing it off with the basic. That does kill Rey. That does end this battle and the whole concerns with the First Order. And that was incredibly easy for a tier 1. Now, if we go look back, I don't know how many Siths we had because I do have the Faust Zeta. Well, actually I have the 2 Zetas on crew, the Zetas on all of them that were used here. I like, if that's a Zeta that you want to cut out, I really recommend you put it on regardless. but you don't really need it. It's just all about that control. If crew gets confusion and they dispel his buffs, it's just easier to have that second tank around. Although some people might prefer officer, I really like first starter stormtrooper. I think he adds an extra safety net in regards to your taunts and keeping your core of damage between OG Kylo Ren, Sith Trooper, and your support Hux intact, and so they're not being threatened by any kind of cheese that the Resistance might bring over to you. And that would be my guide for Tier 1. I hope it helps you out. Hopefully, these stats were actually pretty good as well. I'll be saying that the mods were pretty good because I'm rocking those guys in arenas, so they're going to be decent. You can afford to remod for this event. I don't find like you needed to. Most of the time I actually didn't. To be fair, I did have decent mods on these guys because my GP is not that big. I don't need to cover as many teams. But hopefully the strategy here makes sense and you can apply it to yourself so you can make sure that all of the tickets you spend on this event are of good use. And that will be all for today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you liked it, please smash that like button, leave a comment down below. If you didn't, please leave a thumbs down. I would just appreciate what I can do better. So that will be it, and see you all soon. Bye bye.